Welcome to ICSE Computer Application Class 10 100 marks. I am Ganga Devi, and in this video we will be discussing the decision making statements in Java if else, if else and switch case. So before starting this video, I request all of you, those who haven't subscribed this channel till now, please subscribe it, and in the end, if you understand and like the concept, please don't forget to press the like button and write your comments. Java program normally execute from top to bottom. But if you want to control the program during execution, or the user need to transfer the control of the program from one part to other, or we can say skip the lines in between and go to some line after that, then we can use the control statements in Java. And the control statements in Java are decision making statements which contain if else, if else if, nested if and switch case. And iteration statement, that is for loop, while loop and do while loop. And jump statements, break, continue and return. By using these statements or control statements, we can see Java can skip the lines in between and go to any line. That means skip the execution and transfer the control of the program from one part to another. First of all, we can discuss the decision-making statements in Java. Decision-making statements allow us to control the flow of statements in a program based on the outcome of an expression. That means we can say according to the given condition, the control or flow of the statements will be executed or decided. And the decision-making statements in Java are single if else if, nested if, and switch case. So one by one we will be discussing all these conditions. Mainly we will concentrate in this video on the first three, that means if else and if else if. For nested if and switch case we will be having another video. So first of all we can see what is if statement. If we are having a single condition, that means only one condition to check, we will be using the if statement. So here check the condition, we have to give a condition and the condition will give the answer as true or false. If the condition is true, then the statements given below will be executed. So here we can see small, the letter will be given in small letter if it's a keyword. If the condition, that means if the condition is true, statements, whatever statements are given below if will be executed, and if it is false, nothing will be done because we haven't given any option for else. So single if means only one condition to check. And now if else, that means if two conditions are there, then we will be using if else. So here we have the option, if the condition is true, the statements will be executed, and that means one block of statements will be executed. And if the condition is false, that means if the answer is no, the second block of statements will be used. That means if conditions are true, the first statements will be executed, which is given below if, and if the condition is false, then the second statement, whatever statement is given below else, will be executed. So if it is having two conditions, then we will be using if else, if and else. Condition true, the first set of statement, condition false, the second set of statements. As already told, if one condition is there, we will be using if. If two conditions are there, we will be using if and else. And if more than two conditions are there, we will be using if else or switch case. So first we can discuss if else. Here first, the first condition will be checked. Condition 1, condition 2, condition 3, any number of conditions can be there in if else. And under if, the first condition will be given, and under else, the last condition can be given. And in between, there are various else if, in which various conditions are given. So we can see how it is working. First, the first condition will be given under if, and if the condition is true, the if statement will work and the loop will stop, and control will come out of the loop. And suppose if the first condition is false, then only the second condition will be checked. And suppose if the second condition is true, that means if else if is true, the statements given below that will be executed and loop will stop. And if that condition is also false, then the next condition will be checked. And if it is true, the statements given below that will be executed. And if all the conditions are false, automatically the statement given under else will be executed. So this is the way how if else is working. So here we can see the condition will be given always in brackets. First condition will be given after if, everything in small letter if, and in bracket condition can be given. And if only one statement is there to execute, if the condition is true, then there is no need of brace. But if there are more than one statement, we have to open the brace and close the brace before giving the next condition. So if the first condition is true, statements given below if will be done. And if it is true, then the loop will stop there and come out. And if it is false, then else if, the second condition will be checked. If it is true, the statements will be taken. And if it is false, condition is false, the third condition will be taken. And true means statements will be executed, false means the next statement, otherwise else will be executed. So if all the conditions are false, else will be executed, otherwise the particular else if will be executed according to the condition. Now we can see some programs with if and. So we can do a program which will contain a single condition. Write a program to input a number and check whether the number is positive number. So only one condition is there. Input a number and check if it is positive number. And if it is negative number, nothing has to be done. Only one condition we have to check whether it is a positive number. So here we are having the program. Write the command first. Check whether the number is a positive number. Start the program. Java program will start with the class number, and keep in mind no semicolon after the class or public static void main. So class number, and open the program with a brace. Below class 1 brace and then public static void main INDA. Here we are accepting the number by BlueJ function. In the coming programs we'll be using scanner class, but this program we can do by inputting the number by BlueJ function INDA. And here one brace below the public static void main. So one brace below class and one brace below public static void main. And now this will be closed. These two braces will be closed when the program will stop. Here we can see it is closed. And now what is the condition? If it is a positive number or not. How we can check? If the number is greater than 0, if a is greater than 0, that means then print it is a positive number. And printing also, see here we are writing the variable name without double quotes. That means the value stored in the variable will be printed. And if some characters or string is printed after the variable name, plus sign will be put after the variable name. And if some characters are printed before the variable name, the plus sign will be printed, that means given before the variable name. So here after the variable name we are printing something, that is why the plus sign is here. And whatever you put in double quotes will be printed as it is. Capital number or small letter doesn't matter. Double quotes, whatever you are typing, that will be printed as it is. So now we can see the output of the program. Suppose in INDA we are giving 15, and now condition is checked. If a greater than 0, 15 is greater than 0. So what will be printed? A plus, that means here the value will be printed 15, and whatever is in double quotes as it is positive number. So 15 is a positive number, so it is printed 15 is positive number. And now minus 15, it is a negative number. Nothing will be happening because we have not given any option. So like this printing will be done. If condition is true, statements will be executed, otherwise nothing will be done. And list of variables, we can see what are the list of variable. Only one variable we have used. Variable name is A, data type is IND, we can see here, and purpose is to input the number. So our first program is completed. I hope you understood the concept. Here, next question, write a program to input a number and check whether the number is a positive number or negative number. So in this question, we are having two conditions. Either the number can be a positive number or the number can be a negative number. So when we are having two conditions, we will be using if and else. If condition is true, the first statement will be executed, and if condition is false, else statement will be executed. So here we can start the program. We are inputting the number by using BlueJ function in a simple way. First of all, write the comment. Check whether the number is positive number or negative number. Class number, here class name we are having. Everything in small letter. After class, one space and the class name. Open the brace below class. Public static void main int a. That means while running we will give the number. Whatever number we want to give, while running we will be giving the name, number, and open the brace below public. And now here we are having the condition if, that means condition will be given in bracket, and keep in mind no semicolon here. So if a is greater than 0, that means whatever number you are inputting, if the number is greater than 0, print system out println, that means command for printing a is the number, it is not within quotes, that means the number will be printed, and whatever is in the quotes will be printed as it is. It is positive number, else if the condition is false, the second statement will be executed. It is a negative number. So here we can see the example. Suppose if you are inputting 15, 15 is greater than 0, so a plus, that means first number will be given and then these words. So here output will be 15 is a positive number. And suppose if you are inputting minus 15, so the condition is false, a is greater than 0, condition is false, then will not be executed, else will be executed. So below else what is written? It is a negative number, so that will be executed. And now the list of variables. List of variable, we are using only one variable a, so it is of type int, and function is or purpose is to input the number. So like this if else questions will be done. If the given condition is true, statement below if will be executed, and if the given condition is false, the statement given below else will be executed. And one more thing, keep in mind, if a single statement is there below if, there is no need for opening and closing brace here. But if there are more than one statement below if, we have to open the brace, and before closing if we have to close it, that means before starting else we have to close it. One statement it will be executed, more than one statement will not be executed below if the brace is not there. So we have to put the brace if more than one statement is there. The next question, write a program to input a number and check whether the number is an even number or odd number. So again two conditions, we have to input a number and check if it is an even number or odd number. So here start the program, and starting from now we are using the scanner class, because in ICC board we have to use scanner class for accepting the numbers. So write the command to check whether the number is even number or odd number. So for using scanner class, we have to import scanner class library. The keyword is import. Import space everything in small letter till scanner Java. That means we are importing the library Java dot util library. We are inputting util dot scanner, S capital. In scanner S will be capital. So import this library so that we can use the functions inside the library. So write in proper way, import space java dot util dot scanner semicolon, and then class, give a class name even odd. Open the brace for the class. Public static void main string arguments. We are not accepting anything by function, so here we are writing string S capital and args square brackets and then close the bracket. So no mistake should be there in typing. Public static void main string arguments. In this line only S is capital and no semicolon in class and public. and open the brace below public. These two braces will be closed in the end when program stops. And now we have to give the command for inputting a number. So here the command systemout.out.println input a number. So this message will come, input a number. So any number you type and int a is equal to sc dot next int. As soon as you type and press that number, that particular number will be stored in A. Whatever number you are typing and pressing enter, that number will be stored in A. So we got the number int A is equal to sc dot next int. Sc is the object here we have created. You can see if you are creating AB, here also AB will come. If you are creating some other object, here we have to write the object name. And next int, I capital without space. This is the command for accepting an integer number. And if you want to accept double number, next double. Float number, next float. After next, the next character will be in capital and semicolon. And now how we can find if it is an even number or odd number? Divide the number by 2. If the remainder is 0, it is an even number. Otherwise, it is an odd number. So whatever number you are accepting, divide the number by 2. So first of all, we can see the example. Suppose we are inputting 68. So by seeing this, we can say it is an even number, but computer has to check. So here the condition is given if A modulus 2 double equal means check. If A modulus 2 double equal is equal to 0. So here we can see 68 divided by 2, remainder is 0. So the condition is true. If condition is true, divide by 2, remainder is 0. That means we will print A plus. That means 68. It is not in double quotes. A plus is an even number. Output will be 68 is an even number. So one more condition we can check. Suppose we are inputting 51. And now here divide the number by 2. Modulus means remainder will be checked, not quotient. It is not division. So here 51 divided by 2, we will check the remainder. Modulus means remainder. So the remainder is not 0. That means condition is false. Condition is false means else will be executed, not if. So else will be executed. The output will be A plus is an odd number. So here we can see A plus. The variable name will be coming because it is not inside the quotes, and after the variable if you are typing something, plus will be given. So A plus, because after the variable we are typing something, that is why the plus sign here. If you are typing something before the variable, plus sign will come before the variable also. So it is given it is an odd number. 51 is an odd number because remainder is not 0. I hope the programs are clear. So next question, we can do 2-3 questions or some questions with if else, and then we can go to if else if. So here the next question with two conditions. Two conditions means if else. Write a program to input two numbers and print the biggest number. So here we are inputting two number, and out of the two numbers we have to find the greatest number. So here again we are using the scanner class. Write the command first. Slash here, write the command to find the biggest number. Import java.util.scanner class big. The first 4 lines till scanner will remain the same in all programs except the class name will change and the command will change according to the question. So class big, open the brace, public static void main string arguments, and scanner is equal to new scanner system.in. So we have imported the scanner class in the program and created the object for the scanner class, and now we can input the numbers by using the scanner class object. According to question, we have to input two numbers. So here two variables should be there, int a and int b. So here int a is equal to sc dot next int. First number, whatever number you are giving, will be stored in a, and int b is equal to sc dot next int. The second number will be stored in B. And now the condition, if A is greater than B, if the first number is greater than B, then print A. That means A is the greatest number. So here we can see the example. Suppose if you are inputting 75 and 98, and we check A greater than B. A is 75 and B is 98. Condition is false. So here else will be executed. If condition is false, so else will be executed. Here we will say b plus is the biggest number. So b means the second number 98 is the biggest number. And suppose if we are inputting 51 and 21, in this case a is greater than b, condition is true. That means output will be 51 is the biggest number. So conditions will be checked. If condition is true, the statement below if will be executed. Condition is false, statement given below else will be executed. So I think it is clear. And now the list of variables also we can see. IND A for inputting the first number and IND B for inputting the second number. The next question, write a program to input three angles of a triangle and find whether the triangle is possible or not. So in this case, we are inputting the three angles of a triangle and finding whether it is possible or not. And the condition for making a triangle is sum of three angles should be 180. So here we can see, first of all, write the comment to check whether triangle is possible or not. Import java.util.scanner class triangle. Give the class name according to the question. And write the first four lines. The first four lines are same in all the program except the comment and the class name. So here public static void main string argument scanner is equal to new scanner system dot. Here we are inputting the we are declaring the scanner class object. And now give the message system.println input three angles, and we are accepting the three angles in the variable a, b, c. IND A is equal to sc dot next IND, IND B is equal to sc dot next IND, and IND C is equal to sc dot next IND. And now find whether the sum is 180 or not. For example, here one example we can take 67. If A is 60, B is 70 and C is 50, sum of these angles will make 180. So here we are checking S is equal to A plus B plus C. S will be 180, and if S double equal 180, if it is equal to 180, don't put degree or anything while writing the Java program. Just check the number. For some students used to put the 180 degree sign you used to put. It is not valid in Java format. So just write the number. If S double equal 180, system.println triangle is possible. So here the sum of three angles are 180, triangle is possible. And now the second example, if A is, suppose A is 60, B is 100 and C is 50. The sum of the three angles will make 210. That means the condition given here, if S double equal 180, it is not true. It is wrong. That means else will be executed. And in else what we are doing? We are printing triangle is not possible. So if the sum of triangle is 180, triangle is possible. And if sum of angle is not 180, triangle is not possible. So this way we can do this program by if and else. The next question for practice, write a program to input the age of a person and find if he or she is eligible to vote or not. So here it is a simple program. After the first four lines, as usual, class vote, public static void main scan rest create the object, and here we are giving the message system.println input the age, accept the age in a variable. So here we are accepting IND age is equal to sc dot next IND. And if age is greater than or equal to 18, if condition is if 18, we at least for voting we should have 18 years old. That means if age is greater than or equal to 18, print eligible to vote or not eligible to vote. So two examples also here given. If the age is above 18, output will be eligible to vote, and if age is below 18, the output will be not eligible. Now the next question, write a program to input a number and check whether the number is a Bose number or not. A number is said to be a Bose number if the number is divisible by 7 or the last digit is 7. That means any of the condition, any one of the condition should be true. Either the number should be divisible by 7, otherwise the last digit should be 7. For example, 49. 49 is divisible by 7 and 37, the last digit is 7. So here we can see the program. Start writing the comment find whether number is a bus number or not. And the first 4 lines, no change except the class name. Import java.il.scanner class bus that and public static void main string arguments scan is equal to new scanner system.in. Always keep in mind the braces where they are opening and closing. You should take care when we write the program. So class name will be according to the question. And now after writing the first 4 lines, input the number. System.println input the number. And here we are taking the variable n, int is equal to sc.next ind. So whatever number you are inputting will be stored in n. And now the condition we can see, if n modulus 7 is equal to 0 or n modulus 10 is equal to 7. Here we are having two conditions. The first condition, divisible by 7. N modulus 7, if it is divisible, the remainder will be 0. So first condition we are checking whether it is divisible by 7. And second condition, n modulus 10 is equal to 7, double equal. That means we are removing or extracting the last digit. Divide any number by 10, the last digit, the remainder will give you the last digit. That is why here we are dividing n modulus 10 is equal to 7. So here we can see the example, and before starting this here, see this one how they are combined. Any one of the conditions should be true. That means we no need to put the logical and here. Here we are using logical or. Or means any one condition that true, the answer will come as true. And if you are putting and here, unless both the conditions are true, the answer will not be true. So here we don't want both the condition to be true. Any one should be true. So here we are using the or operator. And one condition is opening from here and closing here. The bracket you can see. Second condition is opening from here, this bracket, and closing with this bracket. And when we are combining both the condition, one common bracket will be here opening end and in the last. And now here we can see the output. Suppose if we are inputting 57. First of all, we can check whether it is divisible by 7 or not. 57 divided by 7, n modulus 7 is equal to 0. It is not divisible by 7. 57 is not divisible by 7. The remainder is 1, not 0. That means the first condition is false. Now we can check the second condition. N modulus 10, 57 divided by 10. If the last digit is 7 or not. 57 divided by 10, quotient is 5 and remainder is 7. That means the second condition is true. So one condition is true. So if will be executed, answer will come 57 is a bus number. I hope you understood how the logic is working. Divide the number by 7. If it is divisible, answer will be 58 is a bus number. Otherwise, if the remainder is 7, then also answer will be it is a bus number. So here we can check one more number, 49. In this case, 49 divided by 7, the first condition, n modulus 7, it is 0. 49 if divisible by 7, remainder is 0. So no need to check the second condition. First condition is true because we are using OR operator. So output will be n plus, that means 49. And double quotes is a bus number. 49 is a bus number. And now one more example we can see, 51. 51 divided by 10. It is remainder is 1. It is not 7. That means if n modulus 10 is equal to 7, it is not true. And 51 divided by 7 also. The remainder is not 0. That means 51 is not divisible by 7, nor the last digit of 51 is 7. So both the conditions are false. That means if will not be executed, else will be executed. And in else, it is coming, it is not a bus number. So like this, the program will work. Any one of the condition is true in OR operator, answer will be true. Otherwise, it will be false. I hope you understood the program. And in this case, we are inputting one number and then checking both the conditions by using OR operator, combining the or conditions by or and then checking if the condition is true or not. Now the next question, write a program to input a number and find whether the number is a Sunny number or not. So here we can see the definition. A number n is said to be a Sunny number if the square root of n plus 1 is an integer. For example, here we are giving 15. 15 is a Sunny number. Why? Here we can see n plus 1. That means 15 plus 1 is 16. And then the square root of 16 is 4. First of all, once again understand how the program is working. Input a number, add 1 to the number, and then find the square root of the number. So here we are inputting 15. 15 plus 1, it is 16. And square root of 16 is 4, or we can say 4.0. That means it is an integer. So this type of numbers are said to be Sunny. Now we can write the program. Write the command first to find whether the number is Sunny number or not. The first 4 lines, which are almost same except the class name. Import java.util.scanner s capital class Sunny. Start the brace and public static void main string arguments. Again start the brace and create the scanner class object scanner se is equal to new scanner in bracket system.in. So scanner s capital, system s capital, keep that in mind, and in the end semicolon. And now give the message we have to accept a number for checking whether the number is Sunny number or not. So first step, accept the number. Give the message, input a number. IND-N. So here we can see 2-3 examples. First example is 15. IND-N is equal to SC.next IND. So whatever number we are accepting will be stored in N. So first example 15 and IND X is equal to N plus 1. Here X is equal to 15 plus 1, that is 16. And now the next step, double Y is equal to mat dot square root of X. The maths function M capital and return type for almost all the function if double. So double Y, mat dot square root of X. X is 16, so square root of X is 4.0. And now IND T is equal to IND of Y. Here we are using explicit conversion to get the integer part of the number. So here the integer part of 4.0 is 4. So here in T, IND T is equal to IND of Y. We got the integer part. And now check if T double equal Y, if both the numbers are same. 4.0 and 4 both are same. 0.0 doesn't make a difference. So both the numbers are same. Then print it is a Sunny number. So this is the way how program is working. So now the second example we can take once again. N. Suppose the number you are inputting is 30. In N 30 will go. X is N plus 1. 30 plus 1 31. And square root of 31 will give 5.4 something, some number with decimal parts you will get. That means 5 point decimal part will be there. And now IND T is equal to IND of Y. The integer part of this number is 5 and that will be stored in T. And now the checking IND T double equal Y. If both the numbers are same. Both the numbers are not same. So if will not work, else will work. The output will be not a Sunny number. So the last example, input the number 35 plus 1 36. Square root is 6.0 and integer part is 6. And when we are checking both the number, it is same. So it is a Sunny number. So according to the number you are inputting, the output will come Sunny number or not a Sunny number. I hope you understood all the if-else programs. And now we are stopping this part and starting if-else-if. So here we are starting with the programs of if-else-if-else. In if-else-if-else, any number of conditions can be there. The first condition will be coming under if and the last condition will be coming under else. And all the conditions other than the first and the last will be coming in else if. So according to the question, we can write any number of else if and any number of conditions. So here we are starting the program. Before that, if keep in mind, if is one condition, if else is two condition, and more than two condition will come in if else or switch case. And now we are discussing if else. So here the question is, write a program to input 3 numbers and find the biggest number. That means 3 numbers will be taken. A, B and C, and out of that we have to print the biggest number. So start the program, write the proper command and the first 4 lines. To find the biggest number, import java.util.scanner class big public static void main string arguments scanner sc is equal to new scanner system.in. So till here write in Java format. Arguments should be args with square bracket, not the full sentence arguments. So now first step, input the number. int a is equal to sc.next int, int b is equal to sc.next int, and int c is equal to sc.next int. So we got the 3 numbers a, b and c. And now one by one we can check the condition and find the biggest number. So first condition we are taking here, a is 12, b is 8 and c is 10. So in this case we can check the first condition. If a greater than b and a greater than c. If a should be big, a should be greater than b. So here we can check the first one. A is 12 and b is 8. That means a is greater than b. And now check a greater than c. A is 12 and c is 10. That means the second condition is also true. Here we are combining both the conditions with AND operator, logical AND. So logical AND means if both the conditions are true, then only output will be true. So in this case, both the conditions are true, a greater than b and a greater than c. So what will be the output here? Here we are printing 12 as answer. So if the numbers are taken like this, the biggest number is a. And now we can check one more example. So in this example, we are taking a as 12, b as 81 and c as 60. So every time condition will check from the beginning. First condition, a greater than b. A is 12 and B is 81. 12 is not greater than 81. So the second condition will not be checked. No need of checking because AND operator, if one condition is false, the complete expression is false. So the first if condition is false. Now if is true, then if will be printed, number will be printed and it will come out of the loop. And if the first condition is false, then it will check the second condition. And what is the second condition here we are giving? B greater than A. B is 81. 81 is greater than A. That means 12. And B greater than C. 81 is greater than 60 also. So second condition is true. B is greater than A and B is greater than C. That means the output will be 81. 81 is the biggest number. One more example we can take. In this case, we are taking A as 91, B as 80 and C as 100. So start from the beginning checking. A greater than B. 91 is greater than B. Condition is true. And A greater than C. First condition is true. That means second also, the expression also will be checked. 91 is greater than 100. Condition is false. So the complete expression will come false if will not be checked. Now come to else if. First one. B greater than A. 80 is not greater than A. Condition is false. So AND operator means complete expression it is false. So when both the conditions are false, all the conditions given here are false, then else will be executed. And in else print C. So here we can see the biggest number is 100. So automatically the last condition will be true. C will be the greatest number. So like this if else if will work. Whatever conditions are there, how many conditions are there doesn't matter. The first condition will come under if and the last condition will come under else. First of all, think about how many conditions should be there in the program. And then if 5 conditions are there, the first one will go for if, last one will go for else. That means 3 else if will be there. If 10 conditions are there, first one for if and last one for else. That means 10 minus 2, 8 else if will be there. So like this, the program will work according to the question. I hope you understood the concept. And list of variable int A, int B, int C for inputting the numbers. Next question. Write a program to input 3 sides of a triangle in integer form and check whether the triangle formed is equilateral, isosceles or scale-in triangle. Equilateral means all the sides are equal. Isosceles, any 2 sides are equal, or scale-in means no sides are equal. So here also three conditions are there. The first one will go under if, the last one will go for else. That means with else if there is only one condition. So here write the or start the program. To find the type of triangle, import java.util.scanner class triangle. That means according to class name, public static void main string argument scan is equal to new scanner system.in. So after the first 4 lines, accept the sides of the triangle. So here we are declaring 3 variables, int a, int b, int c, and accepting the 3 sides of the triangle. So here one by one we can check the conditions. First condition, if a is equal to b, that means double equal to b, and a is equal to c. So here we can see the example. One triangle is here and sides are given. A is equal to b. A is here, we can say this one, this side, b and c. So a and b are same and a is equal to c. A and c are also same. So it is an equilateral triangle. And now we can see the second condition. If A is equal to B, here we can see A and B are same, or B is equal to C. The second condition is false, and A is equal to C. Third condition is also false. But here we are having OR operator. OR operator means any one expression, any one condition is true, the output will be true. With AND, it is compulsory all the conditions should be true, and with OR, if any one condition is true, the output will be true. So here we can see one condition is true, A and B are same. So the output will be isosceles triangle. Yes, if all the conditions are false, like this example, A is not equal to B and B is not equal to C, and A is also not equal to C. So if all the conditions are false, then the output will be scaling triangle. So like this, the program will work, checking each condition and giving the output as you have inputted the input. So now we can do a program with more than 3 conditions. So question is, to foster a sense of water conservation, the water department has an annual water conservation tax policy. The rates are based on the water consumption of consumer, and the tax rules are as follows. So here water consumed is given in gallons and tax rate. More than 45 but 75 or less. That means we have to pay. It is the amount is fixed. Keep in mind, the way of writing program will change if the amount is not fixed. So in the or the rate is not fixed or the condition is not fixed. So here we can see fixed amount has to be given. More than 45 but 75 or less. That means 475. That means below 45 it is not given. We can assume it is 0. From 75 to 150, more than 75 but 150 or less, we have to pay monthly 750 rupees. More than 150 but 300 or less, that means 150 to 300, 1225, and more than 300 we have to give 1750 rupees per month. So here 4 conditions are there, but one more conditions will be there. That means if the user is using less than 45, it is not given, we have to write that also. So then the amount will be 0. So in this case 5 conditions we can say. The first condition will go under if, last condition will go under else, and then 3 conditions will come under else if. So write a program to find and display the annual water tax based on the input value of water consumption. So we can start the program now. Here, write the first 4 lines till scanner class. Just change the class name. And now first message, system.println, input the water consumed in gallons. So take the water, that means accept the water consumed in gallons in the variable C. int C is equal to sc dot next int. So here we are getting the water consumed. And int tax. So here we are declaring the variable for finding printing. So int tax. So first condition, if C is less than or equal to 45. Below 45 no charge was there, so tax will be 0. Second condition, 2 conditions are there. C greater than 45 and C less than or equal to 75. If you have consumed water greater than 45 gallons and less than 75. If the first condition is false, second will be checked. Between 45 and 75, tax is 475. When you store the value, don't write rupees or anything. Just store the value. Rupees will not be accepted in Java format. No comma, no semicolon in the numbers, and no rupees or something. So tax is equal to 475. And if both the conditions are false, that means if C is greater than 75, third condition, and C is less than 150. From 75 to 150, tax will be 750 rupees. It is fixed amount. And if all that condition is also false, then one more condition. If C is greater than 150 and C is less than 300. So here greater than 150 and operator C less than or equal to 300. That means we have to pay tax 125. And now if all the conditions are false, that means the user has consumed above 300 gallons. So else, that will come under else. So tax is equal to 1750. So here the first condition if, last condition else, and in between all the conditions will come under else if. So we got the tax. Now we have to print. Here we are printing system.println water consumed in C, and tax to be paid is plus tax. The next question, a cloth showroom has announced the following discounts on purchase of items based on the total cost of items purchased. So here, if the cost is less than or equal to 2000 rupees, you will get a 5% discount. From 2001 to rupees 5000, 25% discount. And from 5001 to 10,000, 35% discount. And above 10,000, you will get 50% discount. So write a program to input the cost, compute the discount and the net amount to be paid by the customer after availing the discount, and print all the details. So we can see the left hand side of the table is the input. And we can see here there are 4 conditions. The first condition will go under if and the last condition will go under else. And the remaining 2 conditions will be else if. So now we can start the program. Start the scanner class. Class show public static void main string argument scanner is equal to new scanner system.in. So input is system.println input the cost. So here we are accepting the cost in the variable cost. Double cost is equal to sc.next double. Data type is double, so sc.next double. And double discount and amount. So here we are declaring 2 variables to find the discount and then the net amount to be paid. And now if cost is less than or equal to 2000, discount dis, we have declared the variable dis is equal to cost into 5 by 100. That means 5% discount means 5 by 100. Total cost into 5 by 100 will give the discount. Second condition, else if, else space if, cost is greater than 2000 and cost is less than 5000. First condition, cost should be greater than 2000 and second condition, cost should be less than or equal to 5000. So, and one common bracket is here in the beginning and in the end. And operator, that means if the amount of cost what you have to pay is between 2000 to 5000, 25% discount. That means cost into 25 by 100. And if both the conditions are false, then the third condition will be checked. If cost is above 5000 and cost is less than or equal to 10,000. So if you have paid between this 5000 and 10,000, discount dis is equal to cost into 35 by 100. Keep in mind how to write the expression here. We cannot write like the maths, whatever mathematical expression is given. We have to type 2 times. That means cost is greater than 5000, first condition, and second condition, cost is less than or equal to 10,000. In proper way and combine them with a logical operator. Here logical and operator we are using. So if the condition is true, cost into 35 by 100. If all the conditions are false, that means naturally cost will be above 10,000. Then discount is equal to cost into 50 by 100. That means 50% discount means 50 by discount 100. Don't put the percentage sign anywhere because in Java format percentage sign will not be accepted. Only between for finding the remainder it will be accepted, not for finding the discount. And now we can print it. So here just think we are having we want to buy something at 100 rupees, and if you are getting a discount of 20 rupees, what amount we have to pay? Cost is 100, discount is 20, that means 100 minus 20, 80 rupees we have to pay. That means cost minus discount. So here amount is equal to cost minus discount. So this is the amount you have to pay, cost minus discount, and then system out println. Cost is whatever we have given cost, system out println discount, and system out println amount to be paid is. So whatever you print in double quotes will be typed as it is, and then in the variable name, by using the variable name, the amount you have to pay will be printed. So I hope you understood the concept. Here the first condition is coming under if, last condition under else, and in between two conditions are given. Next question. A school is allotting grades and remarks on the basis of total marks obtained in annual examination. So here marks obtained. If you are getting between 80 to 100, the grade is A and remark is excellent. 60 to 79, grade is B and remark is good. 40 to 59, grade is C and remark is fair. And below 40, grade is D and remark is need improvement. So as you can see, the input normally will be the left hand side, whatever column is there. So write a program to input the total marks and print the grade and remark obtained by the student. So input marks and then we have to print both the grade and remark. So here program, import java.util.scanner, class result, public static void main string arguments, and scan res is equal to new scanner system.in. So after writing the first 4 lines, give the message system out println input total marks obtained by the student, and ind marks is equal to sc.next ind. Here we are accepting the marks. And now we can have the conditions. The first condition will be coming under if, and the last condition under else, and the remaining condition under else if. So the first condition is if marks is greater than 80, two condition has to become true. The mark should be greater than 80 and that means logical, and mark should be less than 100. Always keep in mind, here we can see one bracket is opening from before marks and after it is closing. That means one condition, and second condition starting from here bracket and closing here, and one common bracket in the beginning and end. The conditions are combined by using AND operator. That means if both the conditions are true, then only these statements will be executed. And one more thing, below if, else if, or else, if there is only one statement, there is no need of brace. But in this case, there are two statements. So if there are more than one statement below if or else if, then we have to enclose the statement within a brace. So here brace is starting. System out println grade A. If the condition is true, system out println grade A, and the remark also system out println excellent. So both of them we are printing. Suppose if the condition is wrong, it is not greater than 80 or below 100, then the second condition will be checked. If the condition is true, printing will be done and it will come out of the loop. Condition is wrong, the second condition is we are checking marks greater than 60 and marks less than 80. In this case, the grade will be B and remark will be good. So both of them we are printing enclosed in brace. And now if both the conditions are false, then the third condition, mark is greater than 40 and marks is greater than 60. Then system out println grade C and system out println fair. So both grades and remark we are printing in 2 lines enclosed in brace. And if all the conditions are false, then else. That means automatically mark is below 40, system out println grade D and needs improvement. So if all the conditions are false, then the last condition or else will be executed. Now the next type of questions. The hotel has the following rates for customers for stay depending upon the days of stay. So here we can see the table. First 3 days, that means for the first 3 days of staying in hotel, daily you have to pay rupees 500 per day. And for the next 3 days, 350 per day. And after that, next 3 days, 300 per day. And above 9 days, 250 per day. So in this slight change is there. Till now, we have done the table which were having fixed dates. That means from 5 to 10, this much amount. Yeah, 10 to 12, this much amount. Not like this. Not like the next 3 days, next 3 days here. According to the number of days, the rate will change. And even if you are saying for 15 days, the first 3 days, for the first 3 days, rupees 500 will be paid. And the next 3 days, 350 and 300 and 250. So slight change in writing the program when questions are like this according to the number of days you are staying. So write a program to input the name of the customer along with number of days stayed and print the name, number of days stayed and the amount to be paid in the following format. And the format is also given. So in this way we have to print the output. So here we can start the program. Import java.util.scanner class hotel public static void main and scanner is equal to new scanner system.in. Complete the first 4 lines with the comment. And now we have to accept the name of the customer and number of days stayed. So here we are giving the message system.println input the name of the customer and accept the name string name. Data type should be string because it is a word. So string name is equal to sc.next line L capital. This is the command for accepting a string. And if you want to accept just a word, sc.next. String name is equal to sc.next line and then system.println input the number of days stayed. How many days you have stayed? Int days is equal to sc.next int and declare one variable for finding the amount. So we got the input name and days. Now we can find the amount that has to be paid according to the condition. If day is less than or equal to 3, see the table also, first 3 days rupees 500 per day. So here suppose if you are staying for 3 days, per day you have to pay 500 rupees. That means 3 into 500. And that means how much days you are paying and 1500 you have to pay. So here days into 500. If you are staying for 2 days, 2 into 500. If you are staying for 1 day, 1 into 500. So according to the number of days inputted, we have to pay the amount for the first 3 days. And now suppose if you are staying for more than 3 days, then we can have the second condition. Here next 3 days, that means 3 plus 3, that means 6. So here if day is greater than 3 and day is less than 6. For the next 3 days, here we are having the first 3 days 3 into 500. Here one example we can take. Suppose if you are staying for 5 days. That means first 3 days will take 500 rupees per day. Then the remaining days, 3 minus 5, it is 2. So 3 into 500 meant day minus 3. Days minus 3. In this case, it is 5. So 5 minus 3, that is 2. For that, per day, 350 rupees. So here we have to pay 1500 plus 700, 1200. I hope you understood. 5 days means 3 days will go for 500 rupees each. And the remaining days, that is 2 per day 350. So this way we have to pay. Suppose if you are staying for more than 6 days, we can say for 8 days if you are staying. That means more than 6 days. In this case also, first 3 days, 3 into 500, 500 per day. And next 3 days, 350, 3 into 350. So this is over and 8 days. So total it is 6. So then days minus 6. Because for 6 days we have already paid according to the condition. So days minus 6 into 300, 300 per day. So here example we can say 8 days you are staying, 3 days 500, 3 days 350 and 8 minus 6. Total 6 days we have paid, 8 minus 6 into 300. That means total 3150 rupees you have to pay. Suppose if you are staying for more than 9 days, then once again the condition for the first day First 3 days here, 500 rupees each. 3 into 500. Here 12 days we are taking. So first 3 days 500 rupees each. Next 3 days 3 into 350. Next 3 days 350 plus. Next 3 days 300. 3 into 300. So how many days are there? 3 plus 3 plus 3. 9 days. That means days minus 9. Days minus 9. In this case 12 days are there. 12 minus 9 into 250. Because for the 9 days we have paid. So the remaining days we have to pay 250 rupees. So in this case total 4,200 rupees we have to pay. So in this way we have to calculate the amount. If the condition is coming for next 3 days here, next call, something like that, then if the condition or the rate is not fixed for the days, then we have to find the amount like this. And now the printing should be here like this, the format they have given. So when we print, according to the format we have to print system.println, as it is given, Star Hotels Private Limited, and name of the customer, printing the variable name, and number of days. In days we have inputted the number of days, so here we are printing days, and amount to be paid, it is AMT, because in AMT we have count the amount that has to be paid. This is little logical question. Analyze the question and think. You are staying in a hotel and you are paying the amount. You are staying for 3 days, how many you have to pay? For 6 days, if you are staying, how the calculation can be done? And if you are staying for 15 days, how the calculation can be done? Analyze it, understand the question, and then you can solve it according to the Java format. Now we can discuss the last question, and this question was asked in the ICSE board. Given below is the hypothetical table showing rate of income tax for male citizen below the age of 65 years. So a table is given here, and before that two conditions we have to see. That means male citizen and below the age of 65 years. So here taxable income, if it is not exceeding 1,60,000, income tax is nil, that means 0. And greater than 1,60,000 and less than or equal to 5 lakh, total income minus 1,60,000 into 10%, that means 10 by 100. And the third condition, if the income is greater than 5 lakh and less than 8 lakh, then total income minus 5 lakh into 20% plus an additional amount of 35,000. And if it is greater than 8 lakh, total income minus 8 lakh into 30% plus 94,000, which is stable. This much we have to pay. And write a program to input the name of the person, gender, M for male and F for female, and taxable income. If that age is above 65 or gender is F, then display wrong category. Otherwise, print the name, age, and income tax payable. So now we can start the program. In the beginning, accept the details. We have to accept the name, age, and gender. So import java.util.scanner as income tax, publish static void main, and scan receipt equal to new scanner system.in. And first system.println input the name. So name is a string. So here we are accepting it in a string variable. String name is equal to sc.next line. So this is the command for accepting a string. And if you want to accept a single word, sc.next, otherwise sc.nextLine. And after that, the second, we have to input the gender. So give the message input gender, M for male, F for female. And we have to accept M and F are characters. So we have to accept the data as a character. And the command for accepting a character is sc.next.character at 0. So these functions in class 10 we will be studying detail. So now we can learn the command sc.next, two brackets will be there, dot character at. In this A is capital and all other characters are small and no space in between. So syntax Java format we have to keep in mind. sc.next.character char at 0. So this command will accept a character, and we can assume we are giving proper gender, that means capital M and F for female. And then input your age. Age is equal to sc.next int. So we got the gender and age. Now we can check if gender is male and age is below 65. So first of all, we can stop the program if gender is not male or age is greater than 65. So here we are giving the condition if G double equal F, that means if gender is female or age is greater than 65, if any of the condition is true, then give the message system.println wrong category and system.exit 0. By this command, this is the new command we are going to learn, system.exit 0 will stop the program. We have to remember break command also. Break will stop a loop and system.exit will stop the program. So if the gender is female or age is above 65, no need to check further. We can stop the program. So open the brace here, give the message and then write system.exit. That means no need to print, stop the program. And if gender is not female and age is not greater than 65, then accept income. System.println input income double ti is equal to sc dot next double. So in the variable ti, we are accepting the income. So now we can see how to do the program. So here double tax, the condition is here. According to this, we have to write. So tax, we are inputting a variable double tax, declaring the tax will be stored in this variable. And condition we can see here and then write. So we will write the code will be executed if G is equal to M. That means gender is male and age is less than or equal to 65. Otherwise, the code will not be executed because we are opening the brace here and this brace will be closing in the end. So here, if it is male and less than 65, then we can do the execution here. If in TI, that means total income you have inputted TI is less than or equal to 1,60,000. According to the question, if TI is less than or equal to 1,60,000, nil, that means tax is equal to 0. Suppose if the income taxable income is above 1,60,000, then the next condition, else if TI is greater than 1,60,000, here it is given, and TI is less than or equal to 5 lakh. So here first condition greater than 1,60,000. Second condition TI is less than or equal to 5 lakh. If both the conditions are true, that is why we are having AND operator. If income is between them, then tax is equal to, as it is given in the question, TI minus 1,60,000 into 10%. 10% means 10 by 100. We have just written what is given in the question in Java format. Remove the comma from between the numbers. It is not acceptable. So TI minus 1,60,000 into 10 by 100 as it is given in the question. So now if the conditions, if the income is above 5 lakh, then we will go to the third condition. Else if, here we can see if greater than 5 lakh and less than 8 lakh. So here writing in Java format, else if TI greater than 5 lakh and TI less than or equal to 8 lakh. That means no space in between, no space, no comma in between. Two conditions combined with AND operator and one bracket common. So tax is equal to TI minus 5 lakh as it is given in the question, no change. But in Java format, TI like minus 5 lakh, total income minus 5 lakh into 20%. That means 20 by 100 plus 35,000. The fixed amount also we have to do. So we have not changed anything, just return the whatever it is given in mathematical format in Java format. And now if all the conditions are false, then the last condition will be executed. That means total income minus 8 lakh into 30 by 100 plus 94,000. So this way we can find the tax that has to be paid. And now print the details. System.println name, System.println age, and System.println income tax. So I understood. I hope you have understood the concept how to write the program with if else, and if else if else. Simple programs also we have discussed. Little complicated program and more logical program also we have discussed. So the question will be given. First of all, analyze the question in detail, see what has to be done, and then only start doing the program. As soon as you get the question, don't start writing. Read the question thoroughly. You have to understand what the question is asking, what has to be done. Then only you will start writing in proper Java format. With this, we come to an end in this video. I hope all of you can write proper programs of if else, and if else if. If you are having any doubt, please message me. I will reply for the query. And those who haven't subscribed till now, please subscribe it. And if you like this video, if you understood the concept, please don't forget to press the like button and write your comments. This will encourage me to create more videos. And the next video is switch case. So see you all in the upcoming video.